confirmation hearings are meant to be sober events where our wise lawmakers ensure the judge in question is qualified for a lifetime appointment on the highest bench in the land. Instead, the circus came to town.
Let's focus on actual child pornography cases.
I am questioning your discretion, your judgment. Do you really expect this committee to believe that you don't remember what happened?
Put their ass in jail.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Child pornography
7.
cases.
When you approach these child pornography cases,
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how faithful would you say you are in terms of religion?
Do you agree with this book that is being taught with kids that babies are racist?
Jesus, take the wheel. Kimberly Atkins Story, you see her there, is an MSNBC contributor and senior opinion writer and columnist at the Boston Globe and co-host of the hashtag Sisters-in-Law podcast. Maya Wiley, civil rights attorney and MSNBC legal analyst, and I won't say what your other title is. And Sophia Nelson, contributing editor of the GRIO, former counsel for the House Republicans Committee, and author of Black Women Redefined. Maya, I said that because I'm not sure if I am allowed to say it, but you're the incoming president of the Leadership Council.
Jonathan,
Okay.
you get to say whatever you want.
All right, you know what? This panel, this powerhouse Black lady panel, is all about you and Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, and I'm going to start with Kimberly. Just your thoughts.
Yeah,
Whatever
look,
they are.
I made the mistake of thinking that when Republicans initially started signaling that they were going to call Judge Jackson unqualified or an affirmative action pick, but then backed off of that they wouldn't take this base attack, culture war, often racist approach to the questioning, and I was proven very, very wrong. This was not about Judge Jackson. It was not about her qualifications, which are exemplary. It was about a certain number of Republicans who were bent on Willie Hortoning her, treating her as soft on crime, someone who calls babies racist, and just throwing a bunch of lies out there because they knew that it would land well with their particular contingencies in 2022, 2024, and beyond. There were times that it was completely disrespectful. It is perfectly okay to question someone on their record, but that isn't what was happening here. It was being done in a very disingenuous way. She held her own. She pushed back at times that I applauded her for pushing back, and she showed grace and dignity and introduced herself to the American people as someone with superb judicial temperament.
Maya Wiley, the incoming president of the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights. You're up next.
Well, unfortunately and sadly, I actually believed that this would devolve in the way it did. I wrote about it right before the hearings began, saying I hoped it wouldn't and why it shouldn't. But here's why I am angry, but not surprised. Angry because, and I'm going to pull out one specific moment to illustrate amongst all the ones that you laid out, Jonathan. Senator Cotton called this judge, this jurist who had been through 3 confirmation hearings and had the highest rating from the Association of the Bar, the one that many people would be qualified to serve without getting, and one that requires integrity. He called her a liar because she said she didn't remember one of her 1,000 cases. That is so outrageous. It is so beyond the pale because he impugned her personal character, and it was an outright lie. But the reason I'm unsurprised is because it is the pattern of what has happened every time we have a prominent Black woman up for confirmation. And I'm going to go back to Lonnie Guinier. Back in 1993, when Bill Clinton nominated her to be the highest civil rights attorney in the land. And she had written 4 years before a piece that said that she was opposed to quotas. And they labeled her the quota queen and kept one of the most qualified civil rights attorneys out of a position that she was tailor-made for highly qualified for. We can go most recently to Kristen Clark, who now serves in that
Right.
role, but had a battle royale to get there. It's every single time. Now, the country, as Senator Booker said, has moved farther than what we're seeing in the politics playing out in the Senate. That is a good thing. There was a wonderful clip of a white man going after Grassley for the way that Ketanji Brown Jackson was treated. I believe that this will be an indicator to many that this is not what the country has. There is a segment, certainly, that they were playing to. But for most of the country, it was appalling, and it's not going to fly, but it is not new. It is not unfamiliar. And Ketanji Brown Jackson did what we all have to do every day, which is not be angry, even though we deserve to.
Sophia Nelson.
Well, as the person on this amazing panel with these amazing sisters who was a Republican for 20 plus years of her life, I have to admit this one hurt a lot because I was expecting a little bit better. And I was expecting better because she's a historic nominee. And by that I mean that Sandra Day O'Connor, first woman, Thurgood Marshall, first black person, Sonia Sotomayor, first Latina, they all got at least 69 votes or better. Sandra Day O'Connor getting 99 votes. And I thought that they would look at history and say she's immensely qualified, she's amazing. And I figured that they would, at least 20 Republicans would support her. It looks like she'll get 3, is my guess. I'm hoping that it's Collins, Murkowski, and maybe Toomey, who's leaving, the Senate and retiring, and he voted to impeach Trump. So I'm thinking maybe he will be one of those people, but I think it's a missed opportunity, Jonathan, and that's what bothers me so very much about this, that it was just something that the Republicans, this was a layup for them. She's qualified. They voted for her in the past, as was pointed out, and there's no reason for this disgusting and appalling treatment, which I just left the AKA regional conference talking to undergrads, talking to thousands of black women who are outraged, young ones who came up and said, is this how they treat us? Is this what you guys have had to endure? And I encourage them to push back so that their generation does not have to endure this kind of conduct towards black women.
Or as Judge Jackson said in response to Senator Padilla, the story she told about her experience at Harvard where she was told to persevere. I just want to point out that on this screen, not only are you seeing 3 fabulous black women, but you are seeing 3 attorneys. And so this is my version of Black Lady Courtroom. So stay with us. We're going to continue this conversation after my break.